702.
The Big Interview.
15 minutes after 7 o'clock now. Let's focus on this 121 police dockets that were initially investigated by the Political Killings Task Team. Why is there back and forth about these dockets? Last week, the police commissioner took them from his deputy Shadrach Sibiya's office and sent them back to the task team, despite the task team having been disbanded on instruction of the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. And whether that instruction was lawful or not, the inquiry will help us determine that. And that's despite these dockets also being a subject of the Madlanga inquiry. That decision that the National Police Commissioner took last week upset the President and the acting Police Minister. Remember, we spoke to the President's spokesperson, Vincent Magwenya, on Monday. Now, the Commissioner, the National Commissioner, and the acting Police Minister, Firoz Kachalia, have decided that the dockets will be sent to the inquiry in the format that they require. What does this mean? Brigadier Athlenda Mathe speaks on behalf of the SAPS, joins us on the line. Brigadier Mathe, thank you so much for making time. Good morning.
A very good morning to you and to your listeners.
As we speak now, where are these dockets?
Clement, the dockets are in KwaZulu-Natal. They've been handed back over to the Political Killings Task Team. The team has already started off where they left off. You'll recall that the dockets were sent to Pretoria in March. So work was already done on this docket. So they're just starting off where they left off. Yeah.
So last week when the police commissioner made the decision to take the dockets back to the task team, the acting police minister raised some concerns, and so did the president. And the statement that was released between the commissioner and the acting minister says that the Political Killings Task Team dockets will be submitted to the commission in the format that they require. Does that mean that the dockets move from the task team, or does this line mean should the commission require the dockets, they will be made available?
Yeah. So when the National Commissioner took a decision to return the dockets, it was merely to ensure that we do not delay justice for the families that are waiting for answers and for the victims that have died. Of the 121 dockets, Clement, 107 are murder cases of traditional leaders, of party members, of councillors. So it's quite serious cases. I think only four are attempted murder, 2 pointing of a firearm, 2 conspiracy to commit murder. So the National Commissioner felt that allowing these dockets to gather dust is tantamount to defeating the ends of justice. And that is a litigation that we won't be able to win should any of the families of those 107 involved in the 107 murder cases take us to court. How do we respond to say their cases are not being worked on, they're just gathering dust and they're waiting for the commission? So the National Commissioner sat with our legal team and said, what is the best decision? And they then arrived at the decision to say, let us make a copy of each docket, but let the dockets go back to KZN, to the Political Killings Task Team, so that they continue with the work, so that we do not delay the administration of justice. So the dockets are back with the Political Killings Task Team, and the work has begun. But most importantly, if the commission has not indicated whether or not they will require the dockets. But I think in that joint statement, we are saying that should the commission need these dockets, we've got copies, or in any format that they need them, whether they require the originals will then be taken back and sent back to Pretoria. But the National Commissioner has assured that the copies are there, they are safeguarded, but the work must continue, because our priority is the safety and security of South Africans, and is to get justice for these victims and to ensure that we get closure for the families.
What concerns did the acting police minister raise with the commissioner? Because he seemed to share the same concern that the president shared. In fact, take a listen to what Vincent Magwenya told us on the show on Monday when I was asking him about what the president was more concerned about. And I said to him that, to the point that you're making, that of course, the commission, he says the commission needs to deal with the matter before anything is done. And I said to him that, of course, the work of the police also needs to continue. If there are dockets out there that are sitting idle in the Deputy Commissioner's office, who's now suspended, and some of those dockets had instructions to arrest suspects, as claimed by General Mkhwanazi, then surely you can't wait for an inquiry to finish its job before those arrests are made. The inquiry can do its work while the police also continues with their work. And this is how Vincent Magwenya responded to that.
That is why, in the terms of reference, there is a provision that all urgent matters that must be referred for either for further criminal investigation or prosecution, those matters will be referred to the relevant authorities immediately once the commission has looked into them. And so we could have had a scenario, for example, where in their submissions, the SAPS leadership will have said this is priority. They will have made their submissions around the issue, and the commission, on weighing the information and the evidence on the matter, will have then immediately, okay, this matter must be referred to the relevant authorities for further criminal investigation or prosecution. And so you do not have a case where there are delays that will be occasioned by the commission seeking to complete its work before matters are referred back to police for further criminal investigation.
So the position that he holds there is that let the commission do the work first, because these dockets are so central to the claims that have been made by General Mkhwanazi, and they will be subject of the investigations by the commission. Let the commission do that, and then after that, once the commission has looked into them, and then the matters can be, investigations can continue. It looks like the National Police Commissioner holds a different view.
Look, we respect the President's views as well as the Minister's views, and that is why the Minister and the National Commissioner met, so that the National Commissioner can explain the legal implications of the police allowing dockets, murder cases to gather dust. So he did explain to the Minister to say, Minister, we cannot, as the law enforcement body of the country, in which we are entrusted to safeguard, to serve and protect the people of South Africa, and to prevent and combat further crime from happening, allow dockets together, because legally we could be sued. Legally, we are defeating the ends of justice. If those families really take us to court, they would have a leg to stand on. So it is in the best interest of the administration of justice that we make copies, we keep the copies, but the work continues so that we can see, more arrests. And when you look at the track record, Clement, of the Political Killings Task Team, the work, the successes are out there for everyone to see. I mean, from July 2018, they've been working on 333 dockets. Already more than 130 accused have been convicted. You talk about the killers of Cindy Somakaka. There's an engineer that was killed off the Alfred Nzo municipality. His killers as well. One of the employees, actually, one of the people that were convicted is one of the employees, his fellow colleague at the municipality. The DA councillor that was killed as well, his killers have recently been arrested. So the successes are there, and the successes, the arrests include hitmen, hit orderers, the spotters. So the work is there, the successes are there, and the recent cases of DJ Sambodi, it was actually the Political Killings Task Team, even though Gauteng Organized Crime had been working on the DJ Sambodi case, but it was the Political Killings Task Team that when they joined and joined forces with Gauteng Organized Crime, they were able to unravel and uncover and link all these cases. And as a matter of fact, thus far, I remember in my last interview when I said the firearms, we're linking them with about 10 cases. It's actually more now. We are at 30, more than 30. So the work continues. So you can see the successes and the involvement of the Political Task Team.
Okay.
So I think it's quite great that the Minister and the National Commissioner have met. They've agreed that let us strengthen and we must unite for the safety and security of South Africans, because we are in public office. We are not here for ourselves. We are not here for anyone but the safety and security of South Africans.
When were these dockets transferred from the KwaZulu-Natal Task Team after the disbandment of the task team back to head office?
Remember, there was still that dispute over whether the disbandment and so on. And I don't want to get into those merits because that is obviously the bone of contention before the commission, and that is going to be ventilated before the commission.
Yes, but when were they at the head office? When did they leave the task team in KZN
in March.
Why has the commissioner waited until now to actually act on this and decide that he doesn't want to delay justice?
I don't think the commissioner waited. The commissioner had several consultations, but I can't go into those merits of those consultations, trying to convince superiors that we can't close down the task team because these are the dockets that they're working on. These are the cases, but I can't go into detail. All those details, they will be ventilated before the commission. But what is important is that the dockets are back with the team. The investigation is ongoing, and we are hoping that in a few weeks, in a few months, we'll start seeing the successes, we'll start seeing the arrests.
So the National Police Commissioner, I see the statement that he released with the acting police minister suggests that they are now going to strengthen their professional and collegial, and they'll have a respectful relationship. But I wonder if they do, in fact, enjoy that collegial relationship, because the police minister requested some documents from the National Police Commissioner. He asked the commissioner to furnish him with a detailed report on the work of the task team. The minister made that request, and by Friday last week, the National Police Commissioner had not sent that detailed report, which is why the minister then released a statement expressing unhappiness about the decisions the National Commissioner was making about the task team and those dockets. So do they actually enjoy that collegial relationship? And if so, why is the National Police Commissioner not sending what the acting minister is asking for?
Well, that's a conversation between the minister's office and the National Commissioner, but the National Commissioner manages and commands the police service. He's responsible for day-to-day operations, deployment of task teams, deployment of officers, and obviously he does report to the minister, and I think that open line is there. Obviously, time and again, you'll find that we don't find each other, but what is important is that they've met, they've found each other, we have released a joint statement, and we are going forward.
Brigadier Athlenda Mathe, thank you so much, and I hope we will go forward, because South Africans are concerned about their safety. The last thing you want to hear is top cops that are busy fighting each other in court, and a minister who has been brought in to stabilize things in the SAPS, busy fighting with the National Police Commissioner. But as I said, there are questions here around the line that is potentially being crossed here. Is there political interference? Why is the president expressing himself and expressing his displeasure on operational matters? Why is the acting police minister as well wanting a meeting when the National Police Commissioner takes an operational decision around these dockets? We need to be concerned. 28 minutes after 7.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.